Hello. It's a great day for singing, so let's get started. Today I have two exercises especially for women who are having trouble with their registers. If you don't know what a register is, I'll explain all of that to you, and then I'll show you the two exercises. I'll be right back. Please don't go away. So today we're talking about registers, and for those who might not know what a register is, it's a little bit of a complicated thing to explain, but I'm going to make it simple. There are different vibratory patterns that your vocal cords can make when they make sound. Your vocal cords are right here in your little voice box. They sit sort of like this in there, and they vibrate together because of air passing through there. And when they vibrate, they create patterns. For in terms of singers, for women, there are two basic registers. There's the chest, which is where we speak, yeah, down here like this. And there's the head voice, which is where a lot of singers sing, which is up here like this. And the idea is to blend these registers so that you have as much control over the texture of your voice as possible. If you listen to someone like Christina Aguilera, she shows in a song a wide variety of register changes. She'll go from pulling the register quite high into what we would call belting area, and then she'll shift into a very light head voice like this. And then she'll shift back into quite a big kind of singing, speaking voice high up in the range. So that's what we're going to work on today, but in a very simple way with two really simple and fun exercises. So they're up next. So this is a simple way of approaching the blending of registers in a woman's voice and in the lower part of the range. As you get higher, it's a blend into the high speech voice and then into belting, but lower down, where many women have problems. If you're probably watching this because you do. I'll just give you an example. I'm going to start in a headier sound. And then I'm going to go into more of the what we call the chest sound, which is the thicker vibration. And you may not think of it in this way. It may simply be that your voice isn't the same. All of a sudden you have a hole in it or something. Here, I'll show you. So, yeah. Hear that? Yeah. So that's where two different registers are crossing. And we can work in different ways to make that much, much smoother. My voice happens to be a voice where it's very obvious, and I work really hard all the time, every day, to keep that blend and to blend more and to have a better blend. So I know whereof I speak regarding register blends in the bottom of the voice. So here's the exercise. First of all, you're just going to come down on yeah. I'm going from an A to a D. When I come down, the first three notes will be in the headier sound, and then I'm going to allow myself to clunk a little bit into those bottom notes. So, yeah. That may not be too obvious to you in this sound setup, but I do hear and feel a clunk, and I want to reduce that. Yeah. I'm going to go down to a B flat. Yeah. Now, do that with me. The last two notes, you're going to knowingly, physically feel that you move from one register, the headier register, the lighter edges of the vocal bands are vibrating, into something a bit thicker in the lower register in the spoken area. So it's 1, 2, 3 in head, and 2 in speech or chest voice. Here we go. Do it with me. Yeah. Now, if you don't happen to have that, if you don't have that problem, you don't really need this. But for those of you that do, it will be obvious. Yeah. Now my voice has blended pretty well over the years, but I still do have to work on this. Do this one more time, just you doing it, and see if you can find the lower two notes, how they move into the thicker texture. And it's only the lower two. The top three are in the headier texture. Here we go, by yourself. Here we go. Okay, if you found that, if you feel that shift, not everybody will. Some of you will have very one channel voices where your voice just is one voice, top to bottom. For the many others who don't have that, I hope you found those two different registers. Now we're going to do the second exercise. The first is coming down those 5 notes in that very small area. Now we're going to do this. You're going to slide down from the A to the D, from the A flat to the D flat, so it's 5-note slide. And the idea is to slide from your headier tone and end up in your chesty tone when one very smooth slide, like this. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the idea is that you pull back on the pressure and the breath just enough so that your voice will very smoothly move into that other registration. Like that. Yeah, yeah. What you don't want is yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless you want that as an effect. But most of us don't most of the time. Some singers have made that famous. Who is it? Sarah McLachlan does that much higher up. She does kind of a yodel from one registration to another. And that can be neat too, but only when you want to. So here's the exercise again. It's just a 5-note slide, and you're going to slide out of your headier sound into your thicker, chestier sound without a big clunk. At first, you probably will have a big clunk until you learn to pull back the pressure of the breath, to pull back any weight, to take your time, and let your voice just move into that other register. If you do that over time, your registers should start to get a lot more negotiable, a lot more elastic. Doesn't mean you've lost your registers, but you can smooth them out in different ways. Try it now. Okay, so I started on an A and I finished on the low note was the A. So I'm going in through a very short amount of range. Just those chords. So I hope that this helps you. Please let me know below if it does in the comments. And if you're not subscribed, please do. I create videos that help older people, both men and women. I guess a little more emphasis on women because I'm a woman and I have a woman's vocal things to deal with. I'm 64 and that's an age at which things do change in the voice. So you've got to be constantly working at it if you want to sing well. But please subscribe and join me. I try to post at least once every week. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, depending upon my life. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.